All right, so if Darth Vader had a pistol, it would likely be the Canik SFX rival in the black right here. This thing is just angry looking. I mean, look at that thing. So Canik is well known for their triggers. And if you don't know, the reason for that is it's basically a carbon copy of the Walther trigger. So if you didn't know that, now you do. But spoiler alert, this thing's got an amazing trigger. I think most of you might know that up front if you've ever had your hands on a Canik before or have been able to hear people do reviews on them. And this trigger is a little bit different than some of their other SFX models in the past or their compact models in the past. It's actually a little bit better. And if you've been wondering why I hadn't posted a video in a little bit, the liquid cooler, the AIO pump in my computer died and it took forever to get a new one. Like, well, I guess forever in today's modern era. So it took like a week to get the next cooler in. So that kind of sucks. That's why a video hasn't gone up. All right, I can't wait to show you the trigger on this fella. So let's take a good quick look right here. First, you can see pretty standard take up. There's that brake, super clean and tactile, super short reset and a brake right there. So let's actually do the trigger pulls first here because people love the Canik trigger. They love the Walther trigger. So let's check this out. And then we'll get into all the range footage and the performance. If I had any issues and if there was anything I would change on this thing, which I'm sure you guys want to know. But let's check that trigger right now. All right, so we are gonna do some trigger pulls here with the Canik Rival Dark. Take a good look at that thing up close. Just absolutely Darth Vader angry looking here. So we're gonna go ahead and use that new digital wheeler gauge right here that a viewer, one of my Patreons, was nice enough to send in. Huge thank you to you again. Show him some love in the comments down below. Wish to remain nameless, but he did provide this, which is awesome because people got tired of looking at the manual gauge. Let's go ahead and get started here. We'll do an average of 3. All right, so that first one comes in, try and work the glare off that. 3 pounds, 12.3 ounces. We'll enter that one. We'll average out 3 here. So that one was super close, 3 pounds, 15.4, enter that one. And we're gonna come out pretty low on this. That one jumped a little bit higher to that 4 pounder. So we'll enter that. And that number right there, 3 pounds, 14 ounces, 14.7. That's gonna be our net average of those 3 pulls. And just take a good look at that. So we will go ahead and show you how the function is, but it's just a good looking trigger shoe on there. Nice, big, wide, flat face on there. If you can see that right there. There is some texture on it. It's all metal, feels good. So a little bit of take up right there. You meet a nice defined hard wall. Great solid brake right there. It's light. Check this reset out though. It's super short and you're on that wall, braking that next shot. Again, go real slow. Right there. I mean, it's just short. Imagine working that trigger like that. All right, let's get back at it. All right, that trigger is just solid. And this one is well broken in. And we're gonna start with those angles and how it feels in the hand while pulling on that trigger. When it comes to those angles, this thing presents very nicely. And you're gonna be able to tune that in a little bit because you do have some backstrap options here. So you can kind of fit and feel this how you want, what angles you desire, but you can get a much less aggressive grip angle than say a Glock, all the way down to like almost like a 1911 style if you are into that. And overall, it feels very natural, aims well, reloads well, and just operates overall great out there with the native angles on that medium backstrap. And a lot of times I actually like these smaller back straps on these less aggressive gripped pistols. When it comes to that grip size, again, you have the ability to tune that up a little bit with those back straps. That'll give you a little bit more girth if that's what you're looking for. But ultimately, I like to really get my hand around these Canik pistols. They seem to work well with that. So there's plenty there to work with, no matter which grip insert you're using for that back strap. And then you've got the added performance of that mag well, not only for magazine exchanges, but it's gonna really keep your hand high up on that grip. And it just feels nice to kind of have that, you know, that pad down around your pinky so you can just really keep a hold of that thing while you're controlling that recoil. And of course, having that double undercut up under there as well just keeps your hand super high, even your support hand. The higher you can get, the better you're gonna be able to control that recoil, and that is definitely a massive positive as well. because it's all about the performance out there. You already saw that trigger and it's just outstanding. That is a super short reset. The feel of that trigger shoe with the serrations, it is just exceptional out there. And again, that's the Walther trigger. If you haven't all heard that before, that's basically a carbon copy of it. So that is kind of why it's so good. But also Canik did do a little bit more to this one because it is definitely a little bit shorter on that reset than my stock Walthers are. When it comes to the controls, they're all good as well. Everything from the magazine release to the slide stop slide release, even that takedown lever. Again, very similar to the Walther, say PDP, PPQ style products, but they're very natural, very easy to get to. That magazine release is pretty well extended, but not uncomfortable. Slide stop slide release, you're gonna have no problem working that. It is ambidextrous, however, the magazine release is not. And then taking this thing apart with that, really minimalistic kind of takedown bar up front, gonna be super easy. So well done there on all the controls. Now talking about that slide a little bit, because it does have some lightning cuts in it, not lightning as in bolts of thunder, but to make it lighter. And that helps with that recoil. You've got plenty of things done for looks and plenty of things done for actual control, from the barrel fluting to the actual slide itself. That slide gives you plenty of windows and plenty of material removed for that recoil management. Chewed through every type of ammo that I put through. It was just basic range ammo up to some 124 grain Gold Dot Plus P. That's my chosen self-protection ammo. That's what I carry with me. So I always put that through things I'm testing so you get an idea of how it's gonna feel out there. I will say with that hotter ammo, you definitely know you're shooting hotter ammo when it comes to the Canik Rival. And I don't know why it feels a little bit more hot when it comes to that ammo, but I can definitely notice the difference more so than when I'm shooting other bigger, heavier pistols. And I do believe a couple of the other people have put some steel through this, because again, this is a loaner and several people have had their hands on this. So I'm almost positive at least a few mags of some kind of budget steel ammo went through this. And my understanding is that it didn't have any problems with that. I don't buy steel because I choose not to use it, because I just have terrible luck with it. Let's get into the looks category, because there is plenty of it from the slide down to the magwell. And again, looks are not everything, but they sure don't hurt, because I've never heard anyone out there say, I really wish my significant other was less attractive. But this Canik really does give you a lot in the looks category here. All of the looks, in fact, from the front to the back to the magwell. We've got all the serrations and the windows on that slide. We've got some very nice matching serrations that come across the hood and the side of the barrel there. We've also got great fluting that matches everything as well on that barrel all the way down. So they did really pay attention to those smaller details here to make this not only a performer, but definitely a looker. And overall, it just has a very aggressive and mean look to it. Everything from the flutes on the barrel, all that slide work, the windows to show it all off. And then even up underneath where that recoil and guide rod assembly are, you've got some cuts up in there. It just looks really slick all the way around. Now, having talked about the range performance and all the work done there, the looks of that, how does this thing actually kind of feel in your hand? Because that really can make a big difference out there when it comes to the stipple work, the patterns, how much of that pattern there is. Are you getting really good grip on there? Those little things do make a difference. So starting with that grip texture, this has got a very nice sandpaper style grip on it. And I love that because it gives you plenty of texture, and they've even got that same texture up front on the sides of the frame to help you control recoil and reference where your thumb should be. Just makes life a little bit easier. Now, the weight of this thing overall with a loaded mag actually feels really good out there in the range. It feels like it's really balanced and almost kind of made for my bigger sized hands out there on the range with that full mag. Now, once you expend that mag, it almost feels a little bit kind of front heavy, but I kind of like that because I know when I got a full mag in there, it's gonna feel really balanced and really kind of even throughout that recoil impulse. And as I start expending the ammo a little bit, I can definitely feel a little bit of the rear end of it lightening up a little bit. And again, the angles, the mag weld, that double undercut give it a great positive feel in the hand, and they add to the shooting experience rather than taking away from it. So basically, it feels and looks just as good as it shoots out on the range. All right, and I know somebody's gonna ask for those detailed specs, so here you are, combined with a little bit of elevator music right here. Now that is the overall basics of it, but let's take a good up close look at what we're actually going to get with this thing, because Caniks are kind of known for coming with a lot of extras. For those of you that just gotta know what comes with the Canik, we're gonna go ahead and check out what comes in the box. So you will get your typical manuals and everything, and it's attached to this foam backer. So we'll go ahead and put that up there for now. You are going to get several different plates in here for depending on what style of optic you're gonna have. Some of them will have the rear sight on them, some of them will not. A couple different magazine base plates. You get that speed loader, and you do get a holster to get you started. Not gonna say it's the best thing in the world, but it will get you started out there on the range. So not bad at all. And then over here, you're gonna get your little lock for the trigger should you have people unfamiliar with firearms or children or anything like that, or your maybe state requires that kind of thing. All right, this is one of the cool things about the Canik. So you're gonna get all that good stuff. You'll get your cleaning kit. You will get your little tool right here. So that's actually a driver tool, and then all of the tools are down in there. So kind of gimmicky, but at the same time, very cool. You know, it's a nice little touch. So pretty neat there. You will also get a secondary punch, and you can use this for takedowns. You can use this for changing out the back strap, you know, pretty cool. And then your other back straps right there. And that is how it is going to come for your Canik rival, giving you pretty much what you need to get started out on the range. Here we are again at the point where we talk about, did I have any problems? And is there something I would change when it comes to this Canik rival? Because again, thing is mean looking and performed great out there. Did I have any problems? No. What is my one problem with this pistol? I have to give it back. It's a loaner. I kind of want one, I'm not gonna lie. I dig the thing. It looks cool, runs good. Canik's done a great job on it. Now, is there anything I would change? And that is an absolute yes. So look at the sights on there. So they're just barely able to be seen right here on the top of that optic, which is a mechanic optic. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it came on here. I don't think this optic came on here. I think the guys over there threw it on there. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what they said. I could be completely wrong. But I would like to see actual usable sights. So not the cheapest Canik out there. Canik is growing in price point right now along with everything else, but I would love to see sights, even just medium height style sights, even though these ones are on the plate itself, to be able to give you the ability to use the iron sights should your optic dot go down or your battery die on you through something like an RMR or an RMR style size sight, because I know some red dots are super tall, the Vortex stuff is a little thicker. I would like to see that on there, and I think at this price point it should have that. That's my one dig on this thing, and that might be nitpicking, let me know down below. But if you're giving me an optics ready pistol out of the box, and this just goes for most manufacturers, we're probably gonna put an optic on it. So just put optic height sights on it from now on, please, and make them metal. Now overall, I think the Canik rival is a definite hit. The question is, would I spend my hard-earned money on it? But first, we're gonna talk about a funny story specifically dealing with the Canik brand and the Mete. If you haven't seen the video I did on the Mete, I will leave that link down below. So at SHOT Show this last year, I had just got the Mete filming done out on the range, and I run into Mike Pannone at SHOT Show. Now, if you don't know who he is, feel free to look that dude up. He was like MARSOC, Special Forces, Delta. He's a legit guy, owns a company. Very cool individual as well. So we bumped into each other. We were talking about some things, and I talked about how I was able to take the Mete version of this and just one-handed stand out on the range and just hammer a 2/3 IBZIG sized plate with one hand from 75 almost out to 100 yards with ease. So I don't have the best eyes in the world, and I just thought that was really a positive. I'm not able to do that with all of my other pistols for sure. And he was in agreement. He had actually had a Mete, and he was like, it was just great. And I was like, yeah. And this is the funny part. I was like, I couldn't believe it because I've got really bad eyes. Not thinking, but ultimately knowing Mike Pannone's injury, and he just says, yeah, tell me about it. And he knocks his ring on his glass eye because he sustained an injury. And I'm not laughing at the injury, I'm laughing at the fact that I know that, knowing of Mike Pannone, not being personal friends with him, but knowing his injury, knowing his company, knowing his history. But here I am saying, yeah, talking about my bad eyes and shooting a gun one-handed, and then he, you know, shows me up one because he's got one eye. So one of those stupid things where you stick your foot in your mouth, I just thought that was pretty funny. So that ultimate question, because these are coming in right around 630, 639, 650, somewhere in there, depending on the day, because things are all over the place still. Would I buy it? quite honestly, yes, I think this is a lot of pistol for the money. You're getting a lot of performance, a lot of looks, and just a great feel out of these recent Canik releases. And in that price point, they are extremely tough to beat for the performance, the feel, and that trigger. Awesome, good stuff there. But like I said, I've got to give this one back, so you might see one in my forever collection soon, but for now, this one's got to go back to its home. That is what I've got for you guys today. Make sure you get subbed up down below and let me know what your thoughts are on these new Canik offerings, because these things just seem to be getting better and better. And I really want to know if you have been able to get your hands on one, or if you're interested, because some people seem to want to stay away from the Canik brand. Whichever way you lean, get out and have some fun on the range. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I will see you guys on the next one.